What's up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Kevin. You know, every once in a while, something happens that makes you just sit down and think to yourself, like, what the are we doing, dude? Like, literally, what is going on right now? Am I in the upside down? Because it feels like fucking left is right, up is down, nothing makes sense, and everything's stupid. I feel like I should probably be like have a notes or something when I do these videos instead of just rambling. But like, it's pretty clear to me that we gotta like do something. Look, the political state of the world, it isn't great, okay? This is being filmed in January of 2026. So, political state of the world, not great, you know? So there's that, but then there's also AI, which continues to get better and better and better. Let's like form a community where we can like maybe start to organize to do something about this because the world is just not looking so hot. I think it's important to have an objective and a top-down perspective about the state of things, okay? So at the top, you've got the United States. The United States is currently the most powerful country in the world. Well, the United States also happens to be the home of some big tech companies. And these big tech companies, they love just making technology for you. They love making your smartphones. They love giving you like social media platforms to complain on and argue with people on, and to receive information that's completely fake on. They make your phones and your everything else that you use, right? Big tech. Yeah, it's Uber. You know, they drive you around places. They DoorDash fucking food to your house. It's great, isn't it? At some point in our history in the United States, our politicians stopped giving a fuck about the people that elected them. That was probably a while ago, probably like beyond, like past my time. It's probably been that way for a while. The evidence seems to suggest so. And now we have these tech companies that are sucking up all the money and taking all the money from everybody. And now they're making AI, and that's going to replace your job so that you can't make money. Now, if you're like me, then you're probably thinking, I don't know what we can do about this. And you know what? I'm with you. I'm not sure either, sincerely. At least not right now at the time of recording. But I don't know. Let's be friends, dude. Let's form a community of some kind so that we can organize. Because I'll tell you what, man, I'm tired of the bullshit. I'm tired of all the bullshit. You're tired of all the bullshit. Let's fucking end the bullshit. So let me just give you guys the Cliff Notes version of the United States, okay? So a bunch of colonists went out and they were like, whoa, check out this new land mass. We're going to take that shit. And so they took that shit and they killed all the indigenous people and they were like, this is my fucking land now, okay? Cool. Now, then the people that like sent them out there, that allowed them to go out there, the British Kingdom, they were like, yo, that's actually part of our territory. And then we were like, nah, dude, that's our territory. Like, we're here, you're not, get the fuck out of here. So that's basically how the United States was formed. And then eventually we were like, you know what? Living under a monarch fucking sucks. And then we were like, you know what? Fuck all that. You know, I want to make a country where everybody's the same. Not like communism, but like everybody's got like, you know, the same footing. Everybody's free. They can do their own thing. Like we got all this freedom going on. We got this constitution that we're going to make. And it's going to be a utopia. So that's basically how we formed. That's extremely simplified. I like to do that. I like to simplify things. But yeah, that's how we formed. And we basically did it because we were like, yo, you guy over there, Mr. Monarch guy, we don't like you. You don't rule us. We're actually going to have a democratic system instead of you just being, you know, the king is just appointed by God. Yeah, fuck all that. We're going to elect our leader because he's going to have our best interest in mind, unlike you. At some point in our history here, we have gotten back to that, where we have super rich monarch people basically dictating what everybody does, and what we want doesn't fucking matter. This has been studied. If you want to vote for a certain thing, yeah, doesn't fucking matter. There is the same chance that it's going to get approved, which is low, by the way. There's the same chance that it's going to be signed into law, regardless of how popular it is. Want to know why that is? Because we don't have a democratic system. Theoretically, we do, but it doesn't really seem very democratic when corporations, you know, the rich people, get to make all the decisions. The whole entire point is that we elect people to represent us. So billionaires don't represent me. I don't make $1 billion a year. What the fuck do you know about my life, dude? So our country was supposed to be, you know, it was the last continent that was discovered. And we were like, yo, what if we like did it right this time? What if we had a system that worked? And we built it. And it was working okay for a while. And then, well, we got to like nowadays, ever since like FDR, basically. So, you know, the modern history happened and everything's just gotten worse. And that seems odd to me because productivity has gone up a lot. And that's due to advances in technology and things that make people more efficient at their jobs, or just removing those jobs entirely, like automation in factories and stuff. Yeah, things were good. And then things stopped being good because as time went on, corporations began to consolidate more and more money. and they would lobby the government, which they still do all this shit, to basically pass laws that don't benefit you at all. So I'm failing to understand how this is a democratic system. And I'm getting to the point here, which is, we're getting there. All right, this is important. So we had this really good idea. We were like, we're going to do it right this time. And we didn't. And now we're here, and everything is more expensive. Your quality of life comparably is worse because you can afford less things. You have less purchasing power. You know, you can't afford education. You can't afford healthcare. You can't afford a fucking thing. But you can afford your monthly subscription to Disney Plus. I was born during a time when I actually owned things. I remember buying, well, I didn't buy them because I was too young. My parents buying VHS tapes and then DVDs. And then when I was older, I had physical discs for my video games that you would put into your Xbox and your computer. Pretty cool, huh? But now, you spend $60 on Fallout 76, you have a terrible time, and then get fucked. They'll give you like 5 fucking tokens or whatever it was. They're like, oh, your bag that you was supposed to be made of canvas? It's actually made of nylon. Go fuck yourself. And everything else that went horrible there. And that's just one example of that. And so that's not even the point. The point is, like, you buy that shit digitally. And it's like, okay, well, what if Todd Howard is on the Epstein list and then Bethesda goes under or something like that? What if, like, the whole team is on the Epstein list and then Bethesda goes under? Well, guess your game doesn't exist anymore. That sucks for you. Now, when they say things aren't made like they used to be, that's true. They literally aren't made like they used to be because we live in a consumer society where it's beneficial for things to break. Everything has just gotten fucking worse over time. Like, I understand that there's certain things in our lives that are expensive to make. This camera that I'm recording on, this microphone, my phone, that's $3,000 right there. These things they're expensive to make, and that's fine. But the cost of living, generally speaking, is way more expensive, and you don't need me to tell you that. Now, where am I going with this? Well, you remember when we were like, hey, monarch, we don't like you, we're going to form our own country? Yeah, we can't do that anymore. There's no more countries to form. And it sort of feels like at this point, we kind of need to form a new country because shit's going bad. Real bad. It's not good. And the main reason that I say that, which isn't realistic, it's not going to happen, right? But I'm just saying, like, in theoretical land, we would just find a new continent and be like, all right, let's start over. Let's press the fucking load button from our save point. Anyway, we can understand how this happened. And this happened because rich people always need to control poor people. And the idea that you're one day going to become a billionaire, yeah, you're fucking delusional, bro. Like, there can't be a million billionaires in the economy because, like, it literally, the economy breaks. Like, the whole thing just fucking collapses at that point. If everybody has $1 billion, then nothing is very valuable. You know, like, this fucking phone right here costs like $80 million. Like, it doesn't, like, proportionally the same thing. Basically what happens here, and I'm generalizing this a lot, but when you have a lot of really rich people, there's an economy, right? So you have this whole economy and there's a certain amount of money in it, and we're not going to go over growth or anything like that, but we're just going to say that there's an economy with an amount of money in it. If we all have $1,000, there's 10 of us. There's $10,000 in the economy. So when person number one starts sucking up all the money, and then over the course of years and such, everybody's down to like $500 each, and I have the rest of it, they have less buying power than they started with. We were all middle class, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to be rich, so I'm rich now. Now, proportionally, the money has to come from somewhere. So it's coming from them, because I'm not being taxed. That's not how this works. I pay the government not to tax me. So I don't get taxed. You get taxed. And then I get all the money, basically, is how that works. Over time, I'm going to charge you more for all the things that I produce, and so are my little buddies over here who also got rich. That's the problem, is that rich people generally just end up sucking up all the money and controlling shit. That's how third world countries form. They have an economy and they produce certain things, and then the people at the top suck up all the money, and then none of the people at the bottom have a good standard of living because there's not enough money for them. This is a problem that we can solve. Unfortunately, protesting probably won't solve that problem anymore. I mean, if you're a protester at this point, you're gonna, like, be arrested because, like, dissent is illegal now. That's probably not great. We don't have any other countries to form. And so, yeah, so all these rich people end up just getting corrupted and then no longer giving a shit about the people that got them elected there, because at some point, it doesn't matter anymore. Like, we're not gonna be able to vote anymore. What did I say earlier? This was filmed in January 2026. The United States, we're not gonna have elections ever again. Like, until there's a revolution or something, I guess. But yeah, that's never going to happen again. So, there's that. So yeah, eventually you get to this point where like the monarch has to form, and we were really trying our best to make a system where that couldn't happen, but like we didn't do a good job. So now we're fucked, and things are going to get really bad because now the people at the top here, both parties accept like billions of dollars from corporate donations. So to me, it's not a partisan thing. It's just like a thing that happens. It's rich versus poor. All the rich people up here now, well, they're in control of social media and AI, among other things, and the means of production for basically fucking everything that you purchase. So, which is why everything's more expensive because they just keep charging you more. Anyway, yeah, the problem is that we have a lot of really rich people and we have AI that's coming into the fold and it's already wiped out entry-level jobs for the most part. And that's just going to get worse as it gets better. And like, I don't even understand the point of doing it because we don't understand how it works. Like when we look at what it's thinking, we're very concerned every single time. And like, we're just continuing to do it. We're just continuing to develop it. And the problem is that like, if we don't, China does, or some other country does, like India or something, they'll develop their own and use it as a weapon because that's what happens with every invention that we make. It's, yeah. And then with my other point where you have like really rich people that control social media and stuff, that's where everybody gets their information now, unfortunately. So you have rich people that control social media. They also control AI, which can inject information into social media, fake information, and it's getting better and better every second. So I've downloaded all of Wikipedia. You probably should too now, before it becomes corrupted by AI information. You should probably do that. It's a really big file, but you know what? It's worth it. So do that. We're going to get to this point here where people are going to basically be mind controlled, like literally, because the information that you receive is coming from people that want to control you. And they're going to filter information to you that keeps you under control in some way. And then the information that you're getting from news sources is like embellished, or it doesn't have like, it's like a nugget of truth with like all the context missing. And so it seems like way worse in some way than it is, or like whatever. That's always been a thing, but it's going to be so much fucking easier with AI because back in the day, you had a printing press, or you didn't have a printing press. You had like a fucking scroll and shit. You would take your thing and you would print misinformation and you would show it to like your fucking neighbors and stuff. And they'd be like, wow, that's crazy. Literally like 5 towns heard about that event that happened. The country is huge. Then you get to the printing press. It becomes a lot easier to spread misinformation. Obviously, there's a delay in physical time. You have to print it. You have to seal it. You have to send it out. You have to have someone read it. Like you have to get it there. There's all these logistical issues to actually like spread the misinformation. Not anymore, dude. Not anymore. Now you have social media, and I can literally print a fake article right fucking now, put it on the internet, boom, it's there for everybody in the world to see. Like, what are we fucking doing, dude? The people in charge of this technology do not have your best interest in mind. They never will. They never had. It's just rich versus poor. That's it. AI is a cool tool. I use it at work and such, and it's useful for things. It makes people more efficient, but like they want to replace everybody with AI. My job can definitely be automated and will be automated away at some point. You should like and subscribe so that maybe YouTube can pay me some money to live. This is the problem, guys. We're beholden to these corporations. We failed. Like this country failed. It failed to make something that actually, to make a democratic system that actually works for the people. It failed. It failed, and because we're the most powerful country on Earth, we have the means to create, like we created the nuclear bomb, we created those first. We have the means to create these advanced technologies. Ever since World War II, the United States has been the central hub of like technology, business, everything like that. That's how like the world became a lot more globalized, is because of the United States. Put our movies out there, we put our culture out there, all that sort of thing. And so we eventually have the means and the money to create more and more advanced technologies as time went on in our history. And we've gotten to this point in history where we've created AI in this country, the most powerful one that has nuclear weapons, and created by rich people that really don't have people's best interest in mind. You know, in the past, the poor weren't able, they didn't have education. And that's partly because we didn't have a way to like transfer information as easily. Once the printing press was invented, the general public became a lot more educated. And that was it was because the Bible was printed and people like learned how to read and write so that they could read the Bible. So people became more educated because of the advances in technology. But we're coming full circle here. We're getting to the point where our technology is going to be able to make us illiterate. And I don't mean like literally, but like kind of literally, because why would rich people want you to understand the world the way it actually works? Why would they want you to understand anything, how they got there, like how you could create your own company and maybe take over someday, like things that they do? if they do like basically bribe the fucking government, right? They're like giving corporate donations and stuff. Maybe they just stop printing that news at some point. If all the information is coming through social media and AI are controlled by friends, like just don't send it out. Like people just don't know it's happening. You have a recipe for fucking societal collapse. And that's why I'm saying we should probably do something. And another thing that just fucking pisses me off is just the state of the country at this point. Like we were supposed to be the good guys, man. We would be dismantling CCOT in like the timeline that should have happened before the black hole went off or whatever, and we're in this fucking hellscape now. Like we were the good guys that were honorable, were brave, strong, and moral people that do the right thing, that, you know, care about freedom and all this. We're gonna steal Greenland. Like that's just gonna happen. We're gonna start World War III. Completely forgot to mention this when I was ranting yesterday, but like there was a time, a long time ago, about 10 years ago, when I got arrested for selling weed. And you know, it's crazy because my punishment wasn't execution by a drone strike. They didn't put me on a boat and they were like, look at that drug dealer over there. Boom, drone strike him. That's not what happened to me. Like the normal thing to do would be to go over to the boat, occupy the boat, seize the drugs, arrest the people on the boat, charge them, and put them in jail. But no, we're just like, actually, fuck you. Yeah, drone strike, get fucked. Oh, we're also not going to present any evidence to the public that these are actually drug dealers. Whether they are, whether they aren't. Again, my punishment wasn't drone strike. The stuff with immigration and stuff, it's just like, you don't do it this way. You don't take people's health care and give it to the billionaires. Like, what are we doing? Did you have a hard life and you like need some SNAP benefits? Okay, like I'm cool with that. Like you went through an application process, they decided that you were eligible and like you got it. We cut that. We gave it to the billionaires. What the fuck? What the fuck are we doing, dude? Fucking look at us. And if you're not on my side, get the fuck off this channel. So that's what I've got to say today. We've got rich people trying to control poor people all the time throughout history. And at this point, we've come full fucking circle with misinformation and the ability to keep the public illiterate effectively. And we got to do something. Like, we should do something. I don't know what we do, but you should probably like and subscribe. I know that sounds ridiculous after saying all that, but like, I don't know, man. Let's be friends. Let's form a community. We can organize at that point. Like, it's got to start somewhere. So like and subscribe. Check out the other videos. Check out the other channels. We got so much shit to talk about, guys. I'll see you in the next one.